The sun hovered high over the horizon, warm and bright, as if refusing to allow shadows to hide the truth of the past. On that clear day, as the wind brushed lightly across the vast lawn of Greenwood Heights Country Club, a single helicopter approached from the distance, slicing through the peaceful sky with a rhythmic roar. The people waiting below, dressed in expensive suits and shimmering dresses, looked up in disbelief. None of them expected that the person stepping out of that helicopter would be the same girl they once bullied, shamed, and humiliated. But fate has a way of returning people to the very places that once broke them, giving them a chance, not for revenge, but for closure. And so, when the helicopter began to descend, a hush fell across the reunion crowd. Everyone braced for something unforgettable, not knowing that the woman inside was no longer the fragile girl they left behind, but someone transformed by courage, pain, and resilience. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of rising above your past, please take a moment to like, comment, share. A decade earlier, the girl they all ignored, mocked, and labeled as the class loser was named Serena Hale. She came from a small, struggling family and spent her teenage years wandering the halls of Brooksville High with her head held low, trying to avoid the whispers and laughter. Serena was smart, gentle, and artistic, but none of that mattered in a place where cruelty often overshadowed kindness. Her clothes were simple, her sneakers often worn out, and her lunch was usually whatever her mother could piece together. Students like Madison, Trish, and the rest of the popular crowd treated Serena like a living joke. They laughed at her thrift store outfits, mocked her shy nature, and occasionally even recorded her breakdowns for entertainment. Serena's world consisted of silence, a hidden sketchbook, and dreams she never dared to voice. The only kind person she knew was the school's janitor, old Mr. Kenner, who would tell her she was stronger than she believed, even when she didn't feel it. After graduation, life hit Serena in ways even the bullies could never have guessed. She moved through the world alone, carrying a heart full of bruised memories. But she didn't crumble. She survived. She worked 3 jobs, sometimes sleeping only a few hours a night. She studied business online, learning financial management and marketing between shifts. Then one afternoon, a chance encounter changed everything. She met an elderly woman named Evelyn Hart, a widowed entrepreneur who ran a small but failing artisan candle company. Serena walked into her store searching for a cheap gift and walked out with a job offer. Evelyn saw something in her: potential, determination, and sincerity. Within 2 years, Serena's natural creativity revived the company. She crafted elegant designs, introduced new scents, built an online presence, and connected emotionally with customers. Business exploded. When Evelyn passed away, she left everything to Serena, trusting her to continue the legacy. Serena transformed the brand into Heart and Haven, a global luxury wellness empire worth millions. Today, her products were in airports, hotels, and boutiques across the world. The girl who once had nothing had created everything with sheer willpower and grace. So when Serena received an invitation to her 10-year reunion, she paused for a long moment. She knew they weren't inviting her out of kindness. The note's undertone was unmistakable, polite wording masking the same old mockery. She had once been their punching bag, their entertainment, their shadow. And they expected her to still be the same. Serena placed the envelope down with a calm smile, not out of bitterness, but out of peace. She realized she didn't want to return as someone seeking approval. She wanted to return as proof that pain doesn't define destiny. The helicopter touched down on the emerald lawn. Dust scattered lightly as the blades slowed. When the door opened, Serena stepped out in a flowing ivory dress that shimmered softly under the midday sunlight. Her blonde hair cascaded elegantly, catching the light like strands of gold. Confidence radiated from her with every step. She didn't walk like someone trying to impress anyone. She walked like someone who had healed, grown, and found peace. The crowd parted silently, eyes widening as they recognized her. Some gasped, some whispered, and some looked down in shame as memories of who they had been crashed into them. Serena's transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional, powerful, undeniable. She didn't need to say a word. Her presence alone spoke louder than any speech. Inside the event hall, Serena walked through the polished corridors with grace, taking in the faces that once haunted her. Madison, once the queen of the school, stood frozen, clutching her drink. The boys who used to mock Serena's clothes now tried to straighten their ties, pretending confidence. But Serena didn't come for them. She came to say goodbye, to the pain, to the past, and to the version of herself she had outgrown. As the afternoon sunlight streamed through the tall windows, Serena moved to the center of the hall, where a giant photo display showcased memories of their school days. She paused in front of one picture, a younger version of herself sitting alone on a bench. She touched the edge of the frame gently, not with sadness, but with gratitude for the journey that image represented. Behind her, whispers softened, expressions changed, and hearts felt the weight of unspoken regret. If this story touches your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and support the video. Your engagement helps us continue sharing stories that heal, inspire, and remind us that kindness truly matters. Before the event ended, Serena took a deep breath and stepped outside once more. She looked up at the blue sky and felt the warmth of the sun on her skin. She didn't need validation. She didn't need apologies. She had found her strength. She had rewritten her story. And as the helicopter blades began to spin again, she felt something lift inside her, a weight finally released. Just before the ending, we'd love for you to comment, "I believe in second chances." As Serena rose into the sky, leaving behind the echoes of a painful past, she understood that her worth had never depended on the opinions of others. She had built a life of beauty, purpose, and resilience. And though the reunion began as an attempt to mock her, it ended as a reminder that every person deserves the chance to become someone extraordinary, someone their younger self would be proud of.